Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the third and final presentation session or learning session of the GGCC Pathways program. Just a reminder that week after next is our last in-person work, or not in-person, but work group session. And then followed by the actual certificate presentation on the 31st at Boca Botana. So we are super happy to be almost completing this program, but yet having a successful program at the same time. If I will, I'd like to introduce you to the fabulous Angie Duncanson. Before joining the Maryland Women's Business Center, she worked as a Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation small business specialist, as a business consultant, instructor for Maryland Small Business and Technology Development Center. She is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who worked with the U.S. Navy in Sigonella, Sicily. Angie has a master's degree in public administration from Troy University. She is a member of the Greater Washington Society of Association Executives, a certified meeting planner, a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, all right, go blue, and a former board member of South County Economic Development Association, SCEDA. By the way, I also have Sigmas in my family too. They tried to get me. But without further ado, I will turn our third and final session, Marketing with a Purpose, over to Ms. Angie Duncanson. And I didn't ask you your final rank as well before you retired.
Corporal
Duncanson.
But I didn't retire. I just did 6 years. I just did a stretch and got out of there.
It's a stretch. All right, it's all up to you. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Stephen. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for asking me to be a part of this and to make this presentation. What I have done is this, and I think you're going to really enjoy and be excited by it. I have designed this presentation today to help you try to understand how to market with a purpose, right? Not only marketing with a purpose, but kind of like how you can do that on a budget because you don't have a whole lot of money, right? Okay, so this is what I would like to do. I would like to take this time to, one, go over a presentation with you that I've written for the first hour, and it's only 10 slides, really quick. And then the second half, I want to kind of walk you through some forms I'm going to make available to you, right? And those forms will be talking about your marketing mix, your marketing message, and a dialogue with your customers, okay? So we're going to have the presentation, and then we're going to have,
just housekeeping notes, so that we respect the speaker. If everyone will mute their microphones, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, but we know this technology is driving us all mad, so I'm good.
Yeah,
whatever happens, I'm flexible, and I can work with this. So let's get into the presentation first, and then I'm going to go over some forms with you. And I want you all to know that I'm making the presentation and the forms available to Stephen, the chamber, and you can get all of that from him. And if you really have a question like, ooh, fine. But at the end of the presentation, at the end of the entire event, I'm going to make time for Q&A. Okay, so here's the first thing we want to do. We want to get into the presentation. So what I need to do, I want to share my screen with you. I'm going to go to the presentation. Here it is. And we're going to start from the beginning. So this presentation is entitled Marketing with a Purpose. Please keep that in mind. We're talking about marketing with a purpose. Okay. All right. So what we're going to talk about is how to best market your product or your service to include the following information. And that is, and this is probably what you all are really interested in, and that is the cost of marketing, the cost involved in marketing should not be an expense, but rather as a way to create earnings. I mean, sometimes when we think about these things, they sound so foreign. But what I'm trying to say here is that whether you market a little or whether you market a lot, marketing should not be seen as this huge expense coming out of your budget or that you have to pay. Because when you really, really think about it, marketing, if you do it well, is a way to earn more money, right? It's a way to get more customers and to get more orders, because that's the whole premise behind marketing. It's to grow your revenue. So you're some Scrooge and you're like, oh, no, that's not how it works. You've got to listen. I don't know if anybody told you, but you've got to spend money to make money. And marketing is a part of that. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is how we can best do that. The marketing fan, marketing mix, marketing message, and customer dialogue. And it's these 3 bullets here, marketing mix, message, and dialogue, that you can get from Stephen. I'm going to send him that information. So let's move on. So now, let's be real, okay? There are 100 ways, but really when you think about it, there are thousands of ways to market your company. So we're just going to say there are 100 of ways to do that. And then we're going to talk about those ways. We as entrepreneurs, we have a great need to market ourselves. Of course we do. When we want to draw the customer's attention to our new company, new products, and new services, we have this great need to do that because that's the only way they're going to know about you. However, the resources we have to spend on marketing are often and very limited. So here's the question. How can we or you market yourself while still getting the most for your dollars, the most for your money? And that really is the question. You know, you have to do some marketing, but how can you do it with the limited funds that you have? Let's just speak in plain language. How can you do that with the limited amount of money you have? Because, you know, you're a startup or you've only been in business for a year or two. You're not grossing a whole lot of revenue, but now you know you got a market. So I only got a little money. I only got a little money coming in and I can't have a whole lot going out. So how can I make the most of what I'm going to use? So the cost involved in marketing can seem to entrepreneurs and business owners like a luxury, but it's not a luxury, but it can seem like it's a luxury that he or she cannot afford. For example, the cost of placing an ad can appear immense, huge. I can't do that. TV, radio, whatever, that's just way too much. But look, in reality, marketing, again, should not be seen as an expense, but as a way to create earnings, because you have to spend money to make money. Listen, you can't make a sale if we don't know you're there. So you have to market. It's a circle. You have to market first in order to make a sale. Because if you don't market, that means if you don't get out there in the marketplace, tell people who you are, where you are, what you got, what you sell, what you do, how can we buy it? So you have to market first, and then that will lead to sales, hopefully. So a lot of times, you think, I can't afford this. This is a luxury. I can't do this. But in reality, you can't afford to think like that. Okay. So many entrepreneurs, they still resist spending money on marketing. And I just created this presentation and I had to ask that question. Why is that? That just doesn't make any sense. Why is that? Okay, so why is that? There are lots of reasons to why people refuse to spend money on marketing. But they kind of coalesce under these emotional barriers that people have toward marketing. And the biggest emotional barrier against spending money on marketing is our uncertainty as to whether it is worth the money or not. Now, and I know that's what you're thinking. Is it worth the money or not? And this worry is well-founded, it's real. Let's be honest about that. That is a real concern. That is a real worry. And it's usually said that 50%, that's half of your budget, 50% of all advertising costs is wasted. Is that crazy or what? 50% is wasted. And on that wasted portion, unfortunately, we never know which 50% does not result in sales. And that's a lot of money. That's a huge percentage to be wasted. So the uncertainty is real. Absolutely. You're like, should I spend this money or not? What's going on? I don't know if I'm going to get a return on this, but you have to take the leap of faith. You have to do it. You have to kind of like throw all these balls up in the air and see where they will land. And hopefully they will land on something positive that you want. Okay. But we can put an end to this uncertainty to throwing these balls up in the air and just hoping and praying that they're going to land somewhere positive. We can put an end to that uncertainty by trying to get an idea of the effect of different marketing methods. Okay. So what am I saying here? I want to just speak in plain language. You gotta calculate the cost. And what we're saying here is that one way, a very plain and simple way that you can start to help yourself calculate the cost is to do a simple calculation, right? Where you take the marketing costs. Okay, you're saying, well, I need to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on this marketing effort because I know I got to get the word out. So I've got to spend the money on this effort. So that budget is $5,000 or $10,000 in this example. And what you need to do, I got a rigid $5,000. I got a rigid $10,000 budget. I cannot go past that. So then you got to calculate, well, then how many new customers do you have to have, or how many new orders will you need before that investment pays itself, before you get a return on that investment. That's a simple way to calculate your spending. Okay, it looks like my system has frozen, so I got to stop sharing for a moment, and I will get back in a second. You know what? I don't have a problem because these are just things that happen in life, and I'm like, what? Okay, all right, there we go. All right, so there's that. So people don't want to spend money because of these emotional barriers. And we don't like to talk about emotions, but here we go. And then another emotional barrier against investing in marketing can be that we feel intimidated by the creative professional marketing we see every day. Just one second, my camera went away. Let me admit somebody that was there. Okay, that's fine. It's all good. I just want to be back on camera. Okay. All right. So I'm back on camera. All right. Share my screen again. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to keep it in this mode so it doesn't go away. So we feel intimidated. Okay. That's an emotional barrier. But listen to me. This is very serious, what I'm going to say right now. In reality, marketing does not require a lot of investment to be effective. And that's the key word, effective. You can spend a whole lot of money on marketing, but if it's not effective, if it's not giving you a return on that money, then it's a moot point. It's no good. So marketing does not require a lot of investment to be effective. And in 2022, that can often attract much more attention than the result of large budgets advertising. So what am I saying? I'm saying that in 2022, you can use simple devices to help you advertise. Your phone, your TV, your smart TV, your iPad, your laptop, your computer, your different avenues of communicating like LinkedIn and whatever. So in other words, in 2022, we have these handheld devices now, our phones and our laptops and our computers, where you can use these simple devices now to advertise in a way that was impossible 15, 20 years ago. But you have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan. You have to have a marketing mix. You got to decide on what you're going to do so you're not wasting your time, your energy, your money, or your efforts. Okay? So people don't spend money on advertising because of these emotional barriers. You know that 50% of the money is wasted, and we don't want to do that anymore. You know that, hey, all these big people are doing these great things and I'm just a little fish in the pond. That's not necessarily true, because now the field has been leveled and you can use your own devices to do these things, okay? So the next question then is, what is the right type of marketing investment or approach for you? All right, let's talk about that. There are thousands of ways to market, but we're only going to talk about 100. And, with those thousands of ways, with those hundreds of ways, you got to get a grip on that stuff. So those hundreds of ways they've been harnessed into 6 wonderful areas. So these areas are called the marketing spectrum, because you got hundreds and thousands of ways to market, and that's just way too much. That's just everywhere. So let's bring this information, this knowledge, let's harness it. Let's categorize it. And so there are 6 ways to do that. So the marketing spectrum shows 6 different overall categories within marketing that you can use for inspiration, okay? And it's called the marketing fan. and you're going to see the fan in a moment. So what are those 6 categories? And I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of them. So advertising, yes. Well, we're not just saying advertising to be saying advertising. When you say advertising, what are you talking about? You're talking about print media, handbooks, TV, radio, portals, adverts. And then you have the print media, business cards, brochures, product sheets, etc. And then we all know you have online marketing, of course. And we'll talk a little bit more about online in a minute. You have website, blogs, portals, webinars, social media. And then you have direct marketing, right? Direct mail, telemarketing, customer visits. I want to take a moment to talk about customer visits. All of you who are listening to me right now, check this out. When it comes to direct marketing, customer visits is like a foregone conclusion. People don't do that anymore. So if people don't do that anymore, why don't you do it? Do it. Because you know why? That could be a company competitive advantage or edge. Okay. And I say it's a competitive edge or advantage because people don't do it anymore. So let's say if I were your client or customer, right? And you say to me, today, because I'm your customer or your client, you say, hey, Miss Duncanson, guess what? My company has decided to do something different. And I would say, what do you mean? And you would say, I'm going to visit you next week. And that would be March next week, March 14 or 15 of next week. And I would say, as your client or customer, you're going to visit me? And you say, yes. And then you want to tell the customer or the client, I'm going to visit you. I'm going to mark that as my base visit. And then 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, or a year from now, I want to visit you again. And when I visit you, I hope I will find that things have changed in your business and even in your personal life, positive. Because if that's the case, then I want to highlight that in my company's newsletter. I want to highlight that on my website, and all that's come from a customer visit. So if you tell that to me as your customer, you're going to visit me again in 3 months. You're going to visit me again in 6 months. You're going to visit me again in 9 months or a year because you want to find out what's going on, how I've grown, what's happening in my business, what's happening in my personal life, As your customer, your client, I'm going to say, wow, I like that. That's great. Now I'm going to tell everybody about you. So part of direct marketing is telemarketing, direct mail, customer visits. When is the last time you've been visited by a vendor or a contractor or someone that's doing business with you and or for you? When I began my job with Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation as a small business specialist, that was part of my job. I take my my folder, I take the client's record, and I go and visit every now and then. Get a tour of the place, talk to the employees. How's it going? What's happening? How can the Prince George's County Economic Development help you guys? Whatever. I cannot emphasize enough what a customer visit could do. Okay, number 5, publications. That's books, articles, newsletters, magazines, reports. And then number 6, promotions, right? Promotions are another kind of direct marketing tool as well, because when you promote, you could be at a trade show, you can be at some kind of event, you're going to give out samples, you can give out taste tests, do taste testings, Also, a part of promotions is you've got a sponsor, some kind of a sponsorship. And look, if you get a sponsorship, that's a two-way street, because not only have you gotten the sponsor, but the sponsor can talk about you on their website, in their newsletter. So these are hundreds of ways you can market, and in some cases, very cheaply. So let's go to the next slide. Let's see, where are we? Hundreds of ways to market. So what I was talking about earlier was the marketing fan. So those 6 ways we just categorized, it's called a marketing fan. You got advertising. I'm sorry if you can't see it that well, but I don't want to disconnect from you guys, but you can get the PowerPoint. So it's called the marketing fan, right? You got advertising, print, online, direct, publications, and promotion. That's the marketing fan. Now let's just delve a little bit, because I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on all this, because I don't want to inundate you. So let's delve a little bit in some of these ways we were talking about. So when it comes to print media, right? It's an excellent and short-term way to advertise, to market. It's a cheap solution. Entrepreneurs can print material on their own color printers. They can send out as PDF files with emails and never have to take anything to Staples or to a print shop. But if you do this, make sure you're using quality paper, you have a high resolution printer, things are printed correctly and justified, the colors are great and beautiful. So this is some of those simple devices I was talking about. You can do all of this stuff in-house and on your own, but just make sure you have quality stuff, quality paper that you're printing on, a high resolution printer. Even if you're sending something over the internet or as an email attachment, make sure it translates on the other end appropriately. It's an excellent way to market. It's a short-term way to market, and it's a cheap way to market. Direct marketing, as I said earlier, direct marketing is approaching existing or potential customers directly, either by sending letters, which is called direct mail, or telemarketing, on the phone, where the company itself contacts the customer. Direct mail can, of course, be sent online in the form of an electronic newsletter, and that's cheap. It's a cheap way to reach a lot of people. But if you do it, you want the newsletter to be well written. You want several eyes to take a look at the letter. You want the stock, well, it's going electronically, but you want the colors to translate through the cloud, when it leaves your system and it comes to my system as the client or the customer. You want that translation to translate beautiful the way you sent it out. You don't want those colors and those words to be distorted. So direct marketing is fabulous, cheap, inexpensive. Promotion. How are you going to promote? Well, in a sense, direct promotion is another direct form of marketing. It's direct contact with customers, where you meet the customers and you present your product or your service. You give them a sample, you give them stuff that you've printed with your logo. And we know that the logo is going to be beautiful, just right, and exceptional. So they will remember you. So you can promote in a lot of ways, right? But promotion can also be a form of direct marketing. You're speaking directly to someone. So, when you do that, you got to make sure that all cylinders are firing and that everything has to be beautiful, well written, well documented. The colors have to be vivid, whatever. But these are really some inexpensive ways to market. Online. Everybody's online. Everybody's talking about online. You don't have to do everything online, but I tell you, you will be remiss if you don't have an online presence, because that's the new marketing place as opposed to the grocery store and the department store, whatever. Online is where everybody is. So you've got to at least have a presence there. But I want you to understand this. Before I can go to your website and purchase your product or service, you've got to direct me to it. Because I'm not just going to wake up this morning and go, okay, I want to go to Stephen McDowell's website. I don't even know who Stephen McDowell is. I don't know where he is. I don't know nothing about him. So how am I going to just wake up and say, well, I'm going to go to Stephen McDowell's website? Well, what we're saying here then is you got to do a little bit of inexpensive marketing to get me there. So that means you can give out your business card. You can send newsletters online. You can do door knockers, going through the neighborhood and putting these advertisements on people's doorknobs, whatever. So in other words, you got to do a little pre-marketing to guide me to the online marketing. Because like I said, I'm not just going to wake up and go, okay, I'm going to go to Stephen McDowell's website. Why would I do that? I don't even know him. So then you've got to, what they call prime the pump. You've got to do a little bit of pre-stuff to get us there. So online marketing means other marketing that direct customers to the website. And then the website can be designed also as a blog, or you could create a web portal. And then, of course, we know we have the online marketing that includes social forums and network services such as LinkedIn, Plaxo, Facebook, and Twitter. And what I would add here is also if you have like a trading association group, or you have an IT group, or you have a mom's group, or whatever kind of group you may have, you can do online marketing through that group. And then last but not least is publications. Write a book that creates media attention. Write articles for professional publications in your industry, or publish your own newsletter, or maybe even a magazine with articles that are relevant to existing and potential customers. Hey, create your own thing. Anyway, those are just some highlights of this marketing fan. But listen, here's the bottom line. You cannot beat good products or good services. You just can't beat that. So it sometimes happens that customers come to us by themselves without the need for a big marketing effort. This happens when the customers have become ambassadors. Underline that. Let's make our customers and clients ambassadors for us. Because if they're ambassadors for your company, then they take their own initiative to recommend your organization to their company to their acquaintances. And that's called what we all know, word of mouth marketing. And in this digital age that we live in, word of mouth can be either positive or negative. But I can guarantee you, if it's negative, everybody is going to know about it within 20 minutes or less, because that's the kind of digital world we're living in. So word of mouth marketing is very valuable. It's inexpensive. It can be done. But think about it. It's a two-way street, because as your customer or client, if you want me to not bad mouth you, but good mouth you, then what are you doing for me? And that means you respect me, you understand me, you may be even visiting me, you know, like I said, the customer visits, you know, people aren't just going to do something for nothing. So if I'm going to go out and tell the world about you, then that means you obviously got to be doing something for me that makes me want to tell the world about you. So there you go. So we're done with this presentation. Here's my last slide. Here's my last slide. And we'll reiterate this as I go through those forms we're talking about. So suggestions for the, somebody is very loud, they're coughing and it's very distractive. So please mute. Okay, great. So some suggestions for the next step. Decide on the specific objective of your next marketing initiative. Listen, I was a language major in school. I majored in English. And I understand these words, they just get on our last nerve. It says, bullet 1 says, decide on the specific objective. Ain't like objective, what the heck are you talking about? We're simply saying, what do you want to do? Decide specifically what you want to do when it comes to marketing. So decide on the specific objective of your next marketing campaign. You can't be, I'm just going to do, no. Decide specifically what you want to do. Then make a list of all the alternative marketing media you are thinking of. So I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to that. Okay, now make a list of that. Then collect information about the cost of marketing per customer affected, and then calculate how many new customers or orders are needed before the marketing has paid off. Okay, and I'm going to give you some help in a few moments. So we're getting ready to transition, but before we transition, are there any questions? I decided I'll take some questions here if there are some.
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to the last slide?
The suggestions?
Yeah, it says, make a list of all the, okay, collect information about the cost of marketing per customer. So that, okay, so how do you do that?
So we're going to get a little bit more into that with these forms I have, but I always try to tell people, let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. All we're trying to say is, you've got to see, you've got to understand, you've got to know, I got $7,000 to spend on marketing.
Okay.
I got $7,000 to spend, $7,000. So now, if it's going to be worth it, right? If you're going to make a return on your investment, right? An ROI, a return on your investment. You got $7,000 you need to, you got to spend. And hopefully you can make $14,000 based on how you've advertised, how you've marketed. And so what that's saying is, I'm going to take this $7,000 that I have in my budget, and I need to, depending on your product or your service, whatever that product costs, whatever that service costs, how many of those things do you need to sell that's going to take you over $7,000?
Okay.
Right? See what I'm saying? So you got a flat line budget of 7,000K.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. And I want to make $14,000 when I'm done with all this marketing stuff. So that means I got to have 10 clients or customers, 12, blah, blah, blah. And that says, well, I've got to charge so much, you know. Okay, hon? Got it?
Mhm.
All right.
Ms. Duncanson, I do have a question. So many of these individuals in the cohort are just starting, they're early venture. So they're just to the point now, and many of them, well, they're in that phase where they've either just received funding and financing for their business, or they're attempting to apply for funding and financing for their business. What percentage of money should they allocate for their marketing budget? And the question before that would be, do you recommend a company taking on debt for marketing purposes?
I don't recommend that anybody takes on any debt, but after looking at this program and then having more tools to make an informed decision, if you got to take on a little debt to do what you need to do, then you do that. I don't recommend it, but after you've educated yourself and you've become informed and you say, well, it's worth the risk. Absolutely, if it's worth the risk. So whether you're thinking about starting a business, whether you've just started a business, whether you've been in business for a short period of time, or whether you've been in business for a long period of time, the point is to get a grip on this marketing, to make you less afraid, to make you less emotionally retarded, because we were talking about those barriers, right? You need what I'm going to talk about now in order to make an informed decision that will guide your decision about your risk. Very simple. Okay. Any other questions? All right. And I'm going to leave some Q&A at the end, but I'm really excited to share this stuff with you now. So I got to stop sharing the screen for this particular theme. So let me see. I've got to go to something else. So everybody, please just bear with me, please. Hold on one moment, because I've got to pull something up. Okay, I'm pulling it up now. All right. So, Stephen, do you see my wheel?
I do. I see the wheel right there. Yes, in the four quadrants.
Okay. So listen, everyone. I was telling Stephen earlier that I recently got certified as an advisor in this program, this business program that's called Growth Wheel. So this program is an international business development program that's been designed to help counselors, consultants, and advisors work better with their clients. But the overall program is designed to help business owners get off the pot, make some decisions, get unstuck, and grow their business. So I'm taking our marketing information today from this program. And so the program is called Growth Wheel. And there are 4 quadrants. This yellow quadrant is called business concept. This kind of gray quadrant is called customer relations. This blue quadrant is called operations. And then this great purple quadrant is called organization. So what this program is saying to you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is that one day in life, you should have all these 20 areas, because each quadrant has 5 specific areas. One day in business life, you should have concentrated on all of these areas in order to make your business grow, sustainable. You've gotten off the pot, you've made some decisions, and so on and so forth. And I just got certified as an advisor in this a couple of weeks ago, and it's so exciting. So today I'm taking our marketing information from this area called customer relations. Because when it comes to marketing, that's what we're talking about, related to the customer. So the first thing we want to talk about, and I said I will make these forms available to Stephen, is the marketing mix. So you will have an informed knowledge base of what you need to do, so that you can concentrate, how am I going to spend this money? These limited funds that I have. So in this program, Growth Wheel, and in this marketing programs, all of them, really, they're all the same. These sheets are designed to make you get off the pot and to make a freaking decision about stuff. Okay? So this is called the marketing mix. Decide which media to use for which customers. So you can get this stuff from Stephen. So on the left-hand side over here, the sheet is designed, it tells you everything you need to do, the job to be done, what you need to do. The company can choose between different kinds of media to communicate its message and profile. That's the job to be done. And then it tells you how to do it, okay? And then it tells you what your next steps are. So let me just put it in plain English. What this sheet, this decision sheet is trying to get you to do, to decide, is what's going to be your marketing mix? Are you going to just use one way to advertise or to market, or several? You know, let's say, well, my marketing mix will be print advertising, online marketing, and promotion. Okay, so my marketing mix is 3 things: print advertising, online promotion, online marketing, and promotion. That's what I've decided. Now you can do all 6. You can do 1, you can do 2. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's really 6, but online is broke down twice. You can decide to do 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, or all of them. But what this sheet helps you to do is this. All right, so you said, well, I'm going to select print advertising, I'm going to select online, and I'm going to select promotion. All right, well, then if it's print advertising, that's the media, that's the form. What about print advertising? What are you going to do? Are you going to go to newspapers and magazines? Are you going to do some publications? Are you going to do some outdoor media? And then this line, something else, other, right? All right. So you say, well, I want to do all 3 of those things. Then you check yes. Yes, I'm going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. Yes, I'm going to do that. All right. Well, then if you're going to do some outdoor media, right? And you select yes, then what are you going to specifically do outdoors? Well, I'm going to go to the Hyatt Regency. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to ask, can I have an event outdoors? I need tables and tablecloths. I need to set up my materials. I need a pull up. I need to tell people I'm going to be here. So what are you going to do outdoors? And for what customer group? Who are you trying to reach? Well, I want to reach my mom's group that I'm online with. Or I want to reach the business group I'm online with. Okay, fine. Then how much is that going to cost? Good. That's going to cost me $750. Fine. Who's responsible? Is Stephen responsible? Is Andrew responsible? Who in your organization is responsible to do that? So this is called a decision sheet. Make a decision. What the heck are you going to do? And then don't just write this stuff down, do it. So that comes in your next steps. Make an action plan for your campaign, calculate the cost, and then start creating the materials that you need. So this marketing mix decision sheet program method is to help you decide, well, what marketing am I going to need? I may just need one thing. I just may need two things. I may need three. I may need them all. But make a decision. Decide what you're going to do. And then that helps you calculate the cost as well. There you go. So that's the marketing mix. Now let's look at the marketing message. Okay. Oh, stop sharing that one. Let me go back and I want to look at the marketing message. Ooh, I got so many things opened. You people have got to bear with me, okay?
You know, while you're pulling that up, what I like the most about this, your worksheets, your decision sheets, is adding a level of organization and intentionality to your marketing or your outreach process. A lot of times individuals and small businesses and, you know, even small organizations have a tendency to try to be a little more ad hoc when it comes to their marketing approach. And that's why they're wasting money. This allows
Absolutely.
this is why it allows you to front load the planning process so you can have a clear tactical plan of execution. And that's what I really like about this.
You really need a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you're helter-skelter and blah, blah, blah. And these are called decision sheets. You have to make a decision, because the whole program, this growth thing, is to get you unstuck, to help you grow and take you to the next level. And what's really cool about these sheets is that on the left-hand side, it's telling you what needs to be done, it's telling you how to do it, and it's telling you what your next steps are. So now we're on the marketing message. You know what tools you're going to use to market. You know how you want to market, right? You're going to use advertising, you're going to use online, you're going to use promotion, whatever. That's how you're going to do it. Okay. But now that you've decided how you're going to do it, the amount of money it takes to do it, the particular audience you're trying to reach, and who in the organization is going to do it, that's all great.
Hey, there's a lot of static. And some of us can't hear. There's a lot of static. Some of us can't hear you because of the static. I don't know if it's on your end, or I thought it was just me.
No. There seems to be some technical difficulties. I don't understand. We've had some technical difficulties today. My apologies,
Okay.
everyone.
All right, no problem.
Well, whatever happens, you can get the PowerPoint and the slide and the sheets, okay? Okay, so the next sheet then is your marketing message. You've already decided what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. But what are you gonna say? That's the most important thing. What are you gonna say, right? So when it comes to your message, listen up, everyone. When it comes to your message, are you trying to tell people about your company? Are you trying to tell them about your product or your service? Are you trying to tell them about your price? Are you trying to tell them about your risk or something other? What is the main focus? Now, it doesn't have to be one thing. It can be several things. But what's the main thing? Listen, if I got this really great product or service that no one else has, or I've just invented it, or it's a new niche no one else has, then that's my emphasis. My emphasis is I'm trying to tell you this company has something that no one else has. Or how about this? My prices are unbeatable. This product right here, you have never run into a product like this. So I want you to understand, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. It's very simple. What are you trying to emphasize in your message? What are you trying to draw people to? Where's the focus, right? So, well, I want to draw people to the company. I got this great company, and that's what I want my marketing message at this time to be about. Okay, all right. So you're trying to draw them to the company. Well, what about the company? About client references, about client testimonials. The clients have said all of these great things about the company, about how I beat the competition, whatever. So, is that a yes that you want to focus on, or is that a no? You know, so select what category: company, product, service, price, or something else. Is that something you want to focus on? Yes. Then, if you want to focus on the company testimonials, yes. What about that? What's the core marketing message about that? Every day, there's a client testimonial. Every day, there's a client testimonial, you know. About our company. Please visit our website to see, you know, yada, yada, yada. So what about that focus? What about that topic? What's the core message? So then if you can come up with, okay, I want my customer message or my marketing message is going to be about the company. And I specifically want to talk about client testimonials. Okay, what's the core message about the testimonials? And then just build and build and build and build around that. So on the left-hand side, it tells you what you need to do, the job to be done. And then it tells you how to do it. And then it tells you what your next steps are. That's the marketing message, okay? All right. Okay, so now, last but not least, one more thing. I got to stop sharing that screen. And then I'm going to, I want to talk about the customer dialogue. So hold on one moment. Let me bring that up. Customer dialogue, just 1 second. Here we go. Customer dialogue. Share my screen. And there we are. Okay, so now this is the last sheet that I want to talk to you about. And again, these are called decision sheets. You've got to make a decision about what you want to do. So this last sheet is called customer dialogue. Find ways to engage customers in conversations. It just can't be a static, stale business entrepreneur, you know, and you don't communicate with people, particularly your clients and your customers. So again, let me reiterate and emphasize and underline and underscore. Do not make a mountain out of a molehill. The decision sheet is telling you already what you need to do, but you got to make some decisions. So when it comes to customer dialogue, right? Find ways to engage customers in conversation. So here are the categories. Are you going to engage your customers in events, digital media, customer involvement, customer service, written communication, or other? So let's go. Well, I'm going to engage my customers or my client in an event. Well, that's fine. So here's some activities to start the conversation about the event. Guess what? I'm going to be doing this event in 3 weeks, but I'm also going to have a little slight seminar about the event and about things before that happens. Or I'm going to have a trade show, or I'm going to lecture, or do something else other. So then if these things are apropos, we check, yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, I'm going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. Then if you check yes to a seminar, right? Well, before I have this event 3 weeks from now, I'm going to have this little small seminar. I'm going to talk to people about certain things online. It's going to be a little Zoom invite, whatever. So I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to have that seminar. So, well, what about that seminar? You're going to have that seminar? Okay, what about it? Well, I'm going to have a Zoom invite discussion online. Okay, so you're burning this into your mind. And then what is the purpose of involving the client? And here are your purposes up here. You want to bring the knowledge to the client. You want to motivate the customer or the client. You want to inform the customer or the client. You want to learn consumption patterns. You want to get ideas for improvement. In other words, if you're going to dialogue with the customer or the client through an event by way of a seminar with the Zoom invite discussion, why? I want to educate my clients, right? That's bringing in knowledge. And then the key message of the conversation. Well, it's an event. I want to give them a little seminar beforehand by way of Zoom, and I want to educate them. And I want to educate them on the benefits of senior citizens insurance avenues or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I'm an insurance agent and I want to benefit. I want to educate my clients on maybe just on some new benefits that have come about that they don't know about. You see it? But whatever it is, you can use these sheets to make some decisions to get off the pot to move forward with your marketing in a less expensive way. That's all I want to tell you. And Stephen, I am done.
Thank you very much for that thoughtful and very intentional conversation. And my apologies for everyone who experienced some of the
technical difficulties.
I honestly don't know what that came from or where it came from, but you'll be able to review the presentation and also the slides, and you will get handouts sent to you and packaged. And those of us in this group, we are working on basically a 1 or 2 page business plan. And the next section, we started out with the mission. We did a little bit of finance stuff just to kind of talk about profit and loss, and then also targeting finances. And the marketing piece is definitely, that next portion, especially, as we begin to define our competitors. And you mentioned the job to be done. We have been talking about that. And once you define the job to be done, everything else falls into place. And the only way to define the job to be done is to really understand your market, your competitors, and your potential. And so this has just been an incredible wealth of information to help us in our work group sessions. So does anyone have any questions in terms of what you heard today? And also as it relates to, what we're working on in the work groups, or what you're working on in your daily business lives?
I do have a question.
Yes, Frankie.
Yes.
Like as an artist, is it worth the risk of paying some art gallery marketing companies to market my artworks? And does that fall into paid advertising category?
Yes, it does fall into that category, but I would say that, I don't really know you yet, but I would say that perhaps I would try to utilize some ways in which you can advertise on your own right now through other ways that we've discussed, because that's less expensive. Because remember, the first thing I said was that we spend like 50% on advertising that doesn't result in sales or whatever. And so if you hired somebody to do that, they don't care whether or not you make any sales or not. They care as far as their piece is concerned, but after what they do, if it doesn't generate any sales, that doesn't have anything to do with them. So that could be a huge waste of money, but here's what I would say. After you've tried everything on your own through using these tools that I've just discussed, to counseling with us, the Maryland Women's Business Center, after you've tried everything on your own first, then that's always an option. But I would try everything on my own first in these little, small, inexpensive ways I've just discussed first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay.
Hi,
Well-
I have a question. Thank you, Angie, for your presentation. We have online business. We offer different classes, after-school activities for kids online, and we're always looking for the ways to find new channels, new marketplaces. There are a lot of marketplaces appearing every day. And if you could advise any specific way to find the new channel, for any business or for online business like us, that would be greatly appreciated. One of the way I was using in the past, I just did the Google search as a parent, for example, who is looking for classes. I did Google search myself, and all websites that came up on the first page of the Google page, I just registered our company on those websites, and right now we advertise there. Do you know any other similar ways how to find new channels?
Well, so what I'm going to tell you is, I'm talking from my perspective as the consultant for Prince George's County, and then you just kind of, are you in Montgomery County?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just translate it for Montgomery County, because normally I don't teach this. Our Montgomery County counselor does, but she couldn't today, so I'm teaching for her.
I see. Okay.
Right. So I'm going to tell you from a Prince George's County perspective. So just translate it for your county, okay? Now, what I would tell you if you were in Prince George's County would be, number one, register as a vendor with the county school system. Are you a registered vendor with Montgomery County school system?
No, but I communicated with them about potential working with Montgomery County schools, and they said the representatives told me that they don't work with online providers. All after-school activities they do are in person.
Okay, well, now that things are kind of getting a little bit back to normal, that may be an avenue you want to create, meaning that you may want to have a little bit of a hybrid when it comes to the county school system. That's one thing. The other thing is, are you a registered vendor with Montgomery County's government?
No, we list our company and we register in SAM website and also eMaryland.
Right.
So I see different solicitations, and we just applied for minority business certificate, and we have an interview next week. So once we get this certificate, if we get it, it will give us more chances for bidding, because all local solicitations that I'm observing right now, they are more for minority businesses.
Right. So you're getting your minority business enterprise certification with MDOT. That's great. That's fantastic. But again, you should register as a vendor with the county, because the county doesn't know you are a vendor if you're not registered with them.
Oh, yeah,
And that's great that you're registered with Emma, because that's the system by which the state does business with small businesses. So you're doing the right things, right? You're getting your MBE certification. And let me just be clear, all certifications are really marketing tools. That's really all that they are. They're marketing tools, so that if the county, the state, or the federal government has these quotas that they have to meet, they would love to talk to you if you can provide those services. So what I can tell you is definitely complete your MBE certification, register as a vendor with the county of Montgomery, register with the school system anyway, because maybe you want to look at a hybrid business later on, in person and online. Join something, join the Chamber of Commerce, join your trade association, join some women's organization in the county or whatever. Join something, because iron sharpens iron, and you need to be hearing from other women and sharpening your skills and networking in those capacities.
Yes. And you mentioned the registration in school districts. Is it separate from county registration?
Now, in Prince George's County, yes. Prince George's County school system is a standalone procurement entity.
Oh, I see. But in each county is different, right? We actually can register in different counties, because we are not specialized on specific area.
Each county is different. Each county is different.
Okay.
But because you're in the state of Maryland, there's no problem with you doing business with all the counties. And if and when you get the MBE certification from MDOT, that certification says to all the counties in the state of Maryland that your corporate house is in order. And that's what certifications do. And that's what certifications say. They say that your corporate house is in order. So keep working on the MBE certification, and that will open, as a marketing tool, will open even more doors for you to do business with all the counties in the state of Maryland.
All right.
And is it also true? Thank you, Eula. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to ask. Once you get your MBE certification, you can also go to neighboring states or wherever states and seek reciprocity, correct?
It depends if the state has a reciprocity.
Okay.
So in the DMV, yes.
Okay.
Virginia and DC and Maryland.
Okay.
The tri-area has a reciprocity agreement.
Okay.
That means that this MBE can help us to get another certification in Virginia, for example, or DC.
So it means
Similar.
that if you get certified in the state of Maryland as a small business enterprise, you won't have to do as much paperwork if you're trying to do business in DC or Virginia.
Right.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
I
Ms. Duncanson. There are two other hands up, Kumba and Veronica. Kumba, I'm just going in order. I don't know how long you've been waiting, but Kumba, perhaps first.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mrs. Dawkinson. My question is, I am trying to set up a business as an events planner, wedding decorator, and the like, but I am a one-man show for now. When I look at your marketing mix and all the, especially the part that deals with the decision sheet, it for me, it reads out that I would have to delegate some of my responsibility to other people. So my question is, being a one-man show for now, what would be the minimum number of people I would need to have as part of my marketing team once I start, enlarging my coast?
So what that sheet is saying is who's responsible. So if it's only you in the company, it's just you.
Okay.
But if you had a company that had 2, 3, 4 people, then you have to choose who's responsible. Well, you're a sole proprietor, it's just you. So Kumba is responsible for everything.
Okay.
Simple. My motto is don't make a mountain out of a molehill. It's you.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Yes,
Next
hi.
question.
Yes, how difficult is it to become an MBE, like that process? Is an MBE, does it stand for Minority Business Enterprise?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a lengthy process or is it fairly easy?
All certifications are not fairly easy and they're lengthy,
Okay.
but it's free. Our counseling can walk you through it. The Maryland's Department of Transportation is the certifying agency, and they recommend sole proprietors, 1-member LLCs or 2-member LLCs or whatever. They recommend that you certify your business because 1, it's a marketing tool. 2, you can use it to bring in or to grow revenue. And the reason for the certification is to say to the world, to say to the country, to say to the state, to say to the county that your corporate house is in order. So if these entities want to do business with you, they feel good about it.
Okay.
And I do have a contact. I don't know if I should give it out, but Ms. Duncanson, I do have a contact at MDOT to share that Tiara Patterson. I don't know if you know her.
No, I know a lot of them, but I don't know her. She
Okay.
could be someone new.
Okay.
So
I could share some information. The county has been doing quarterly shop and drop reach outs. My business has been a part of it. And so there's going to be one coming up in March, and they have people there that will be represented in Montgomery County from MDOT. The certification process, like Ms. Duncanson says, is lengthy. I did get mine. If you want to Google SWAM, that is the Virginia Reciprocity registration for you to be able to use your MBE in Virginia. And they will show you either a Word document spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet that has all the other what states they accept it from, so you can see the list of states, and each one does that. So that's what I ended up doing. And the reciprocity is, like she said, it is with both, but they show you which states that they will not accept reciprocity through. But if you be on the lookout, or if you send an email, when we get the shop and drop, I can let you know when they're going to be in Montgomery County. So if you are, if you're going to be available, then you can stop by and speak with one of the MDOT reps when they do the next one. And it's going to be in a couple weeks.
So I can just go on the MDOT website and find out about this shop and drop. Where is it gonna be?
They haven't given it's all throughout Montgomery County, but they haven't given us the exact location for this quarter. They've been holding it every quarter, because the last time Mr. McDowell showed up at one and the governor was there, and they brought MDOT representatives there. So I will get an email probably a week before they're going to do it, and I can share it with Mr. McDowell when they give me the date and their location, and then we can share it that way. But it's going to be coming up in a few weeks. Just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I might stop by.
Yeah, also, whether MDOT is doing a specific date, out and about, talking about them and the certification or not, you can always go to the website, because they have their schedule when they help you with the application. Okay, so it's all there as well. So what I do with my clients here in Prince George's County, when they tell me they want to certify or get certified with the MBE certification, I said, hey, go to the website, MDOT's website, read about the program, download the certification and the checklist. The checklist is for a sole proprietor, for an LLC, for a corporation. Do the application in pencil, do a draft, and then I go over the application with my client via Zoom before they submit it. But what I want them to know, even before they get to that point, is that they need to download the checklist. Even if they're a sole proprietor, if they're LLC, if they're a corporation, because it's a moot point if they don't have what the checklist is asking for. So all of that can be done from the website with your counselors. I'm the counselor for Prince George's County. We have 2 counselors at our headquarters in Montgomery County, and we have a counselor in Frederick. And if I can be of service to any of you, although I'm the counselor for Prince George's County, please email me, ask me any questions, and it would be my pleasure to assist you.
See, I honestly think that when someone says something like that, I think everyone on this call should take her up on it and reach out to her with questions when they make themselves available. I know that, I will.
I would be happy to help you. I may not counsel you all, way out there, but I would be happy. Just send me an email, Angie@MarylandWBC.org. And it is my pleasure to answer any questions you may have, because you know what? I would like to answer your questions, get you on the right track, so you're not spinning your wheels, and so that I can show you that life is not as complicated as we try to make it.
I love this presentation.
If you have a question, it would be my pleasure to assist you.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to call.
Well, Ms. Dewberry is good for a call and an email.
Well, now everybody else emailed me, but Ms. Dewberry and I, we said we were going to talk offline. But you can call me as well. But here's what's happening. My office is at Bowie State University, and we're hybrid. So some days I'm in, some days I'm not, and everything's going through a voicemail system. Now, you can call me, because the voicemail system that's on my laptop is also on my phone. So you can reach me. So whatever is convenient for you, I will definitely get back with you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions, comments or feedback, questions or comments?
I really appreciate this. I thank you so much for the presentation, and I thank you, Mr. McDowell, for the privilege and the opportunity to have this given to us. I'm grateful for Ms. Duncanson, the education, and the opportunity to be able to sit in this type of environment to be able to learn. Thank you.
I tried to make it user-friendly. I tried to hit the key points. And the information I'm going to make available to Stephen, if you guys want it. I've given you my email to follow up. I'm just trying to make it crystal. I'm trying to make it user-friendly. And if you don't take anything from this conversation today, take this. Do not make a mountain out of a molehill, please. It is not that complicated. Now, it's complicated if you don't know, if you think you don't know. No, it isn't. It really isn't. So if you apply these principles that we've talked about, you're going to free up a lot of your time. I believe you're going to be a lot happier. I believe you're going to be a lot less apprehensive. And I think you're going to be ready to just go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big one. I mean, but here's an interesting question too. So Pam Ackley, who's on the call, she has an early childhood facility for individuals with autism, developmental delays, and it's a franchise. And how would someone like that, given that she has a lot of upfront costs, right? And how does someone like that begin to develop a marketing program that's affordable? Because the franchise is not necessarily, if I remember correctly, providing a lot of money for marketing or very little. So how do you maximize that, a streamlined shoestring budget, as they say, to develop a marketing program?
Well, you know what they say about hindsight, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of those things looking back, hindsight wise, is I wouldn't even take on a franchise if part of that purchase didn't include helping me to market.
Right.
I mean, I just would not have.
Well, no,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is if it's very little,
What I'm saying is that's water under the bridge.
Right. Right.
That's true. That's water under the bridge. But that should have been the first thing. But that's water under the bridge. She's there now. So now a lot of that's on her, because how many franchises? Okay, she started the company and how many have branched off from that?
All over the country? I don't know. Pam would have to answer that.
Oh, there are a lot of them all over the country?
I think so. I think so. I think I can look them up quickly.
No, I was just curious. You know why?
Why?
I was just curious because if she was the firebrand, right, she got it started. And then she sold pieces of it, correct? To franchise, right?
Oh, no, she bought into.
Oh, she bought a franchise.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying she started the franchise. Well, still, if I bought the franchise, I would have wanted to know upfront, how are you going to help me with the marketing? Okay, but that's water under the bridge. So what she can do, or what a person can do to kind of minimize some of that cost now, is perhaps touch base with some of the other franchises to find out about some of their best practices and what they're doing and how they're advertising and how perhaps maybe she can connect to them as a link. Like if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. Even though you're in California and I'm in DC, I can still advertise, whatever. So networking would probably help that person. touching base with some of the other franchisees to find out what some of their best practices are. How are you advertising? What are you doing? You know, even though you're kind of competitors, but if you're in different states, you're not really competing, right? Because you're in different states, but learn from each other. Get involved in a peer-to-peer process. You know, let's say there are 2 franchises in Maryland. One could be in Cumberland, one could be in Prince George's County. Okay, same franchise in different locations, but how can I help you via my website and my social media and all of my advertising? Because collaboration can help by collaborating. So my other fellow competitor that's in Cumberland can advertise for me or have a link for me on their website that drives people to me, you know, so collaboration, peer-to-peer discussions. How are you marketing? What are you doing? And then these other principles that we've talked about as well. And then also there's no harm in going back to the franchisor saying, hey, look, you know, I'm struggling. What do you have? How can you help me? You know, I mean, if we just buy the franchise and we never go back to the franchisor, well, the franchisor is not going to do anything because they never hear from you. But part of purchasing a franchise, and it depends on the one that you purchase, that's part of it. That $75,000 or $350,000 or $500,000 that you purchase for the franchise, I'm going to read the circular. There's a franchise circular, and that's something too. The person can go back and reread or read that franchise circular that tells you about the methods, means, and ways of franchising. Right. And part of that is the franchisor should be giving you the model of how to market. Now, they're not going to pay for your marketing and they're not going to give you the marketing materials, but they should give you a framework on how to market. And
that's a very good answer. Thank you. That's,
and that can help as well.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Kumba left. No, Kumba's still here. We had someone leave the group. Okay, are there any other questions?
I'm going nowhere. I'm here.
No, I know. I saw your name. I was looking for it because we had 11 and now we have 10, so someone dropped off, but I understand. Are there any other questions or comments? Well, we have plenty of time left in order to engage one another. Do you, in terms of what we've been working on in the work groups, while we have Ms. Duncanson here, are there any questions about your 1 or 2 page or maybe 3-page business plan? Some of you have been
I love to answer those questions because I counsel on that stuff all day long.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would hate to waste this time with dead air, as they say in the business.
I have a question.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that I've kind of been hesitant about, because I've known about the MBE, but I think I might change my business to a consulting firm if I can't find a manufacturer for my blanket.
Okay.
So, and so I guess my question, and then I could just make my my blanket business a subsidiary of the consulting firm, because I hate to be paying $300 every year, you know, because you got to have, Maryland has that business license renewal fee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hate to be paying that every year and it's not making no money. So I guess to do that, to just to make my business a subsidiary, you know, I can look it up and find out, but do you know?
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, so let me be clear, because I need for you to be clear, okay, Veronica? Okay. this business that you currently have,
Mhm.
is it registered with the state of Maryland?
Yes,
Is it an LLC?
yes.
Right. So as an LLC, every year, you have to pay that $300 a filing fee. That's what
Mhm.
it's called. It's a filing fee, whether you make money or not. Okay. So what you're gonna have to do, Veronica, is one or two things. You got to make a decision. In order to make a consulting business and not keep this LLC, you're gonna either have to create a new consulting business, and that means getting a new name and a new federal tax ID number. Because you could create the business under the LLC that you have now, but you can't if you're not going to keep that LLC in good standing and pay that $300 a year. So you got to make a decision. Are you going to keep the LLC and pay the $300 every year, which is the parent company? And then the LLC as a parent company can create these other
Okay,
businesses underneath as sole
Okay.
proprietors? Or are you going to keep the LLC or get rid of it or just start a whole new business?
So you're saying that, so if I kept, my primary business as, as the main one and did the consulting as a subsidiary, you said I would have to create the subsidiary as a sole proprietor?
Yeah, pretty much, unless it's going to be something you don't have to, but you can, because if you create the subsidiary under the LLC, you don't have to get a new federal tax ID number.
But if I do an LLC, because people do LLCs and corporations to protect themselves from liability. And so if I do a sole proprietorship, I just feel like I don't have that protection.
You do have the protection because the LLC comes under the parent, the sole proprietorship comes under the parent LLC.
Okay, I got you.
So that's why I'm saying you can do two things.
I like that.
You can start a whole new company and get a
No.
whole new EIN,
Mm-mm.
federal tax ID, or you can keep your current LLC in good standing with the state of Maryland,
Right.
create a sole proprietorship subsidiary underneath.
Okay. And that way I only pay one license renewal fee every year.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
But you gotta pay it every year. You gotta stay in good standing.
Oh yeah, I definitely pay it every year. I always pay my bills. I'm just trying, you gave me
Well-
the information I need.
Well, that's exactly what you can do. So Veronica Wrights LLC can form as many subsidiary sole proprietorships underneath as many as you like, because all of them will be using Veronica Wrights LLC federal tax ID number.
So then my next question, no one else has anything, you know anything about the blanket business, textiles? Okay.
I don't know anything about any individual businesses, but what's your question?
Stephen's been trying to help me out. The last working session I missed, Stephen, because I was actually in New Jersey visiting. I was on the road. I was driving to New Jersey meeting with a manufacturer. I'm trying to make a faux fur blanket. Okay. And the name of the business is Comfy Cozy by VW. And these faux fur blankets is made of a material that they don't make anymore. It's high quality, heavy material faux fur.
Who doesn't make it anymore?
Just in general, as I've been going around talking to other manufacturers. So
You mean in the United States of America, it's not made anymore?
Or even outside, if somebody makes it, but that's what I'm trying to communicate with you is I'm trying to find a manufacturer who makes this material, and I've been unsuccessful. Now, when I was going to New Jersey, this I forgot what you call him. He's like a middleman, the supplier. I'll call him
Some kind of a broker.
Yeah. he was like, yeah, my manufacturer, they can make this. But I have a feeling that they won't. Because I've been
So
trying to, so
I
I'm
have
just,
two things for you.
okay.
One, change what you're doing, which you don't want to do. Or two,
You
you
doing?
probably need to touch base with Maryland State Department of Commerce, our Commerce Department, our State Commerce
Oh, okay.
Department.
That's a good
So they
idea.
can try to help you find out if no one in the US is, no one legitimately in the US is doing it, perhaps they may know of someone abroad.
Okay,
I
that's
mean,
good. That's good.
yeah, utilize our State Department of Commerce, because you know the best thing about the State Departments of the Maryland State Department of Commerce, the best thing about that is that their whole premise is to help us in the US who want to do business overseas. That means whether we want to sell our products overseas, products or services, or we need to have them manufactured overseas. But the best thing about the organization is that they help us find boots on the ground. People over there in this country that you want to do business in, or that's a manufacturer for you.
Yeah, I
You
like
gotta
that.
know about boots on the ground in those places.
Right, right. So I'll send you an email, Angie@maryland.wbc.org. Yeah, I'll send you email so that you can give me that point of contact.
Yeah, so when you're talking about manufacturing,
Mine would
not
be
so much
taken down.
domestically, but overseas, or trying to find someone to do that, it's our Commerce Department. Okay, Veronica?
Okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna put my hand down.
It's all good.
It looked like Ms. Dewberry would like us to yield her 30 seconds.
We can't hear you, darling. You're on.
Okay, I just got a question that came over my phone that I needed to ask you, because you were answering Veronica's question about bringing her subsidiaries under one LLC. They're saying they already have the subsidiaries, but how do they bring that under the LLC when they don't have the LLC yet? What's the process for them to be able to do that?
Well, unfortunately, they've put the cart before the horse.
Oh.
In order to do that, a parent LLC or corporation needed to have been formed first.
Oh, okay.
So they've put the cart before the horse. So now these are just individual companies that they have. So what happens is they put the cart before the horse. But when you want to do that kind of thing, you have to create the parent company first, right? The holding company, the parent company first, right?
Okay.
Let me give you and all of you a prime example of what I'm talking about. So, especially us girls, you have TJ Maxx, you have Ross, and you have Marshalls, right? They have different names, but they're all one company. They belong to a parent company. And it's probably some corporation. I doubt if it's an LLC. It's some corporation. So it's some corporation way up here that's trading as or doing business as, that's the DBA, doing business as or trading as Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Ross. So you have to create the parent company, the holding company first. And then that holding company, that parent company, is trading under a different name.
Okay. I got you. And any other questions she has, I'm going to tell her to email you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ms. Dunn.
You are welcome, dear. I
just
love
have
this
one.
stuff. Can you tell, Stephen?
Yes, absolutely. This is a great conversation. I think Kumba has something else she wants to say. Go ahead, Kumba.
Yeah, thank you. I just have one last question. The MBE certification is one. Are there any other certifications we need to have?
Well, that's a good question. And I just want to emphasize, you don't need to have any. You do not need to have any.
Okay.
And you know why I say that? I say that because the certifications are for government contracting on the local, state, or federal level. That's what that's for.
Okay.
And so you don't need to have any certification because the government, the federal, local, state, and government is all about full and open competition.
Okay.
They would be sued from here to the Netherlands if they were talking about you gotta be certified. So you don't need to be certified in anything. Now, it's good if you are, because it depends on, like, you know, your local, state, and federal levels of government contracting. They have all of these quotas that they have to meet. They have all these boxes that they have to check. So, you know, if you're a woman, if you're a veteran, if you're a minority, if you're a small business, you just help these local, you just help these entities check off all these boxes, and that's great. So it's not mandatory.
Okay.
But it's nice if you are certified on these different levels, because that just makes your competition a lot more narrow for you and not as wide.
Okay.
So you don't have to be certified in anything. So here's what I recommend. I recommend that as a woman, as a veteran, as a minority, as a small business, and when I say small business, that encompasses Caucasian women, because they're not a minority, but they do have a status, which is everybody, small business. So what I do recommend is that as a small business, as a minority business, as a veteran, as a woman, whatever, you apply for the MBE with the state, which is the minority business, Caucasian women and men, SBE, small business enterprise, and you know, the MBE encapsulates the woman-owned as well. And then after that, again, I'm in Prince George's County, so I don't know about Montgomery County, but on the local level of government, Prince George's County government, they have their own in-house certification on their website when it, you know, under the tab, doing business with us. So, you know, if you're trying to do business with Montgomery County, if you're trying to do business with the county school system, if you're trying to do business with the state of Maryland, get the MBE certification or the SBE, small business certifications, and then just certify on the local level with the county government if they have that process. And I think Montgomery County does. I just don't know because I don't live there and I don't work there. But
Okay.
that's what you need to focus on.
Okay. Thank you. I'll find out if they can.
You're welcome. Anything else? Well, if not, it has been my pleasure. I
have
will
a
make
question.
sure.
Oh, Frankie.
Yes, Frankie.
Can I come live with you in PG?
Hey, Frankie. No, you know why? Because we don't refer to our county as PG. This is Prince George's County.
Prince George's County.
Okay, so get that right, and perhaps I might let you come.
Well, with that said, everyone, thank you so much, Ms. Duncanson, for coming to impart such wealth of such a wealth of information to the group. We certainly have now been fed completely with these 3 classes with good information that will help us to continue to develop our 1, 2 to 3 page business plan, which will in turn help us apply for funding, meet with potential investors, et cetera. So thank you so much for that hot off the press marketing material. It was amazing. Thank you so much. And we look forward to sharing it and digging in a little deeper. So,
well, I'm going to send everything to Stephen, and you guys can get everything from Stephen. Okay. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Ciao, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Bye, Angie.
Bye.